Hello everyone, this is Ray Kierna with Copter Concepts. As some may remember, this is my Sikorsky VS300 that had made 5 flights in total. Flight number 5 looked very promising, but I wanted to take and redo the rotor head into a two-bladed weighted flybar system, which we know does work quite well. I had the paddles on the one, but I found the paddles to be a little bit, difficult to balance the machine. So we're going to take a quick look at the rotor head assembly. As we see, it's weighted fly bars, balanced. Rotor blades are an airfoil shape. They are not curved. I find the airfoil blades to be much more effective than the curved ones. So if we take a close look at the rotor hub assembly, there we go. As you see, I have a 5/32 of an inch diameter aluminum tubing going into and built into the rotor hub assembly. You see the feathering pin is completely straight. There's no angle to it. I find the angle does not work well. This setup seems to work the best, so I'm going to stick with it. So all rotor head assemblies will be built identically the same. So that'll be just repeatability. The spurs for the hub attachment from the rotor blades are bamboo skewers, which I find incredibly strong, difficult to break. So I decided to use those and mounted those onto the rotor blades. This setup allows me to have pitch adjustability on the rotor blades. Once they are set for the proper amount of lift, then I can lock them in. So this way, the pitch of the rotor blade will never change after it's locked in. But for those builders who would like to attempt something like this, if you want to leave them pitch adjustable, you can just make sure that they're a tight fit into the 5/32 inch diameter aluminum tubing, which I use a little bit of Gorilla Glue inside that tubing, just enough coating so the skewers will fit tightly. That's all you want to make sure is that those amounts are going to be tight, so your blade doesn't fly off during flight. You don't want that happening, that's for sure. Tail rotor assembly has been completely changed to the ones that I have been experimenting with. I find these tail rotor blades to be the most effective. Now on this particular model, I had wood rotor blades, which are these, with the plastic quick link that fit to a nylon tube. That was pitch adjustable. Now these blade links are, if you look, are quite a bit larger than the curved rotor blade assembly. So we'll see if I have to increase the tail rotor blade length on this particular model. I don't think so. With proper belt tension, which doesn't have to be super tight, just enough to have a little bit of tension between both pulleys. The pulleys are set up with the, they're not the milled pulleys. They are the fine sandpaper belt pulleys to prevent slippage. So both of those have the fine sandpaper in the middle core, which seems to work well. There is a gearbox inside this model. It's never been removed, so that worked quite well. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. We'll see if you can see the gearbox, but there's right in there, there's a mitered gearbox inside there that works quite well from the main drive shaft. My gearboxes, they're pretty good. They work. Depending upon how they're built, you run the risk of course, them stripping out like any other gear. But if the alignment is, good, it shouldn't strip out. It should last. This one has lasted for quite some time now, so I don't think I'll have any difficulties with it when I attempt flight. People may ask, oh no, he's going to fly it inside again and try to catch it. No, I don't want to trash this model. I definitely don't want to crack it up. Once my initial tests are done on the main rotor hub assembly and the initial power run-up, if everything looks good, I'm going to take it to a field with tall grass and wind her up, and we'll try her outside and see what kind of flights we're going to get. But I'm definitely not going to fly this thing inside. Let me see, I've still got my Huey project in the back. This one has the angled drive, as you can see there, which works quite well. That's the option besides a mechanical gearbox, because this assembly, of course, is not going to strip out. So the only gearing you have is here between the pinion pinion drive and the spur gear drive. That's all you got in the main drive shaft. So this seems to work well as far as motive of power. Once I make the new rotor hub assembly, I'll test that. Once that's tested, we'll go ahead and give the Huey a shot at flight. Huey weighs in at about 55 grams. The VS300 weighs in at about 50 grams, so the VS300 is a little bit lighter, you know, so, and I like the weight, and the balance is a little better on this one, because if you look between the main rotor shaft and the amount between the nose and the boom, it's almost equal, so I needed very little weight in the nose to balance this out properly, and this is what I prefer. So models that I make, they have to be more like this one, so there's less balance required in the nose, which is going to save on the weight as well. I mean, obviously our goal here is to build a scale looking machine like this one and get it to fly, you know, relatively smooth, you know, and stable. That's our biggest thing. We want to make sure it's going to have a nice stable flight. As far as competition wise, this is not going to be a machine that's going to be able to do, you know, a minute or so. I mean, I've got models to fly between 20 seconds to 30 seconds. Chris Starleaf built my Bell 206 Jet Ranger model when I kitted them in the past, and he was able to get the Bell Jet Ranger to fly over 30 seconds from ROG. So I'm looking at, if you can get a model helicopter like this to fly, you know, between 20 to 30 seconds, you're doing real good. 20 seconds would be a qualifying flight if you fly this at FAC scale. You probably get a lot of buku bonus points for it. It's got a pilot in it. It is a, you know, rotary type of aircraft, so you'd probably get extra bonus points for this. So this might do well in competition even with short flights, and I'll give you an example. My faucet mobile that I had built as a peanut scale model, I did fly the faucet mobile in competition, and I did place first place a couple of times with it, with a flight time average about 24 to 30 seconds, because it had buku bonus points, which allowed me to win first place with it. So, you know, this could, you know, you can fly this in competition. I mean, even if it does 20 seconds, I mean, 20 seconds for a helicopter is pretty good. So, you know, I'll do some tests and I'll let everybody know. For now, this is Ray Kierna and Barney Rubble signing off from Copter Concepts. We will continue with our experiments. We'll keep you posted. Thanks for watching. If you like what you see, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you like what you see. Further experiments and flights coming up soon. Thanks for watching.